Smart, smart, do. We are the children, the children of God. Come, come, come. We change our world. We have what it takes to do it smart and make it smart. Welcome to our Smart Do.
Hello class 5 pupils, welcome to today's lesson. This is a science lesson on the topic plants. Plants are living things, and in this topic we are going to look at three objectives. One, we are going to look at classification of plants. Two, we are going to look at the external parts of plants and their functions. And lastly, we look at the two types of roots. To start with, we have to start with the classification of plants. Classification of plants refers to grouping of different plants according to their characteristics. In class 5, we are going to look at two main groups of plants. One, we are going to look at green plants and non-green plants. And two, we are going to look at flowering and non-flowering plants. Green plants are plants which have their leaves, branches and stems are green. Green plants contain a green substance which is found in the leaves, which is called chlorophyll. They contain the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green coloring matter that is found in the leaves. Non-green plants, they don't have the green coloring matter, that is, they don't have the chlorophyll. The non-green plants have their branches, roots and leaves with different colors like white. They can be brown or they can also be gray. Examples of green plants, we have beans, we have peas, all those plants which we grow in our farms, and also the fruits, all the fruits that we plant in our farms like the mango, the pawpaw, the oranges. Those are examples of green plants. Non-green plants, they are grouped into two. We have bacteria and fungi. They are either bacteria or fungi. Examples of fungi, we have the mold. Mold is found in moist leftovers of foods like a moist bread. When you leave a piece of bread somewhere, it will have the mold will grow on it. We also have the mushroom. Mushroom can be used as food. We also have the mucor, the penicillin. Penicillin is used as a medicine. We have the puffballs. We have ringworms. Ringworms, they grow on head. Sometimes you can see a child with some white patches. They form white patches on the head. Then we have yeast. Yeast is used when baking. It is used to raise dough when baking. It is used to raise dough when baking. So those are examples of non-green plants. I said they are bacteria and fungi. All these are examples of fungi. And we have some fungi which are useful to human beings, like mushroom, which is used as food. We have penicillin, which is used as medicine, and yeast, which is used to raise dough when baking. Now we have a flowering and non-flowering plants. Flowering plants are plants which reproduce by use of flowers. They produce flowers. And examples are maize, we have mango, jacaranda, and all other those plants which produces flowers. Then we also have non-flowering plants. Non-flowering plants do not produce flowers. They reproduce by either use of cones or spores. They reproduce by either cones or spores. They don't reproduce by flowers. Examples, we have the mosses, we have fern, and the fungi. Fungi are all these non-green plants which we had mentioned earlier. Then we have conifers. Conifers, which are pine, cedar, and cypress. These are called conifers. These are green plants but don't produce flowers. They are called conifers because they reproduce by use of cones. They reproduce by use of cones. So that's a brief classification of plants. Then we go to the external parts of a plant. External parts of a plant are the parts that you can see. For example, in this plant, there are some parts which we can see. For example, we can see it has leaves. We can see the flowers. We can see branches which grow from the main stem. This is the stem, and then we have the roots. So under the external parts of a flower, we are going to look at the roots which grow under the ground. We have the stem, we have the branches, we have leaves, we have flowers, and also the fruit. A fruit is an external part of a plant. When we look at the functions, we start with the function of the roots. Roots perform the main function, that is to support the plant firmly in the soil. Without the roots, the plant will not be firm. Another function of the root is absorption. The roots absorb water and the mineral salt from the soil. That is why when we are watering green plants, when we are watering our plants in the farm, we don't water from the leaves, but we water at the base where there are the roots. The function of the root is to absorb water and the mineral salts from the soil up to the plant. And the other function of roots is it acts as food storage. There are some plants which store their food in the roots. These plants are, for example, the cassava. We have the sweet potatoes. All those plants, we have the yams. They store their food in the roots. That is where we have the fleshy part. That is where we eat. For example, in a cassava, we eat the roots because that is where the food is. In a yam, we eat the roots because that is where it stores food. Then we also look at the stem. Stem performs also three main functions. One is transport. What does the stem transport? One, it transports water and the mineral salts from the soil. Once the roots absorb water, this water and the mineral salts go up the plant through the stem. The other function of the stem is to transport food. Food is manufactured in the leaves. Food is manufactured in the leaves. Once food is manufactured in the leaves, it is transported to all other parts of the plant through the stem, that is to the roots. The other part of the plant is to support, the stem is support. The stem supports the upper parts of the plant. For example, in this plant, all these parts are supported by the stem. Then the other function is food storage. Some plants store their food in the stem. Examples of these plants, we have the sugar cane. That is why a sugar cane, we eat the stem. We also have the Irish potatoes. Irish potatoes store their food in the stem. And also we have the onion. An onion does not store food in the roots. It stores food in the stem. The leaves. One function of the leaves is transpiration. What is transpiration? Transpiration is the process by which the plant loses excess water into the atmosphere. For example, when you go to the field on a sunny day, you will start sweating. That sweat is you are losing the excess water in your body. In the same way, leaves, plants lose the excess waters from excess water through the leaves, and that is what we call transpiration. The process by which green plants lose excess water into the atmosphere. Another function of the leaves is to make the plant food. Remember, plants make their own food, unlike animals. Animals, as living things, animals do not make their own foods, but plants make their own food. The part of the plant that makes food is the leaves. This food, the process by which these plants make their food is called photosynthesis. That process is called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Plants make their the food using the green coloring matter, that is the chlorophyll, that is found in the leaves, in the presence of sunlight. Then the other function of leaves is breathing, and the last function is food storage. Plants, there are some plants which store their food in the leaves. Examples, we have the kales, spinach, and cabbage, and also onion. They store their food in the stem. Then we have the flowers. The flowers are the flower is the reproductive part of the plant. Flowers reproduce to produce fruits. Which fruits they produce seeds which grow into new plants. So those are the external parts of a plant. And lastly, we have to look at the types of fruits. We have two main types of fruits. We have the taproot and the fibrous root. The taproot is whereby only one main root from the stem. For example, this one. This is now the taproot. We have one main root, whereby we have other root hairs which grow along that main root. So this is a taproot system. Plants with the taproot system include the beans, peas, mango, cowpeas. All those are taproot. Then we have the fibrous root. Fibrous root is whereby we have we don't have one main root, but we have very many small roots which grow from the base of the plant. And the plants with the fibrous root system, we have maize, millet, grass. For example, this is grass, maize, millet, sorghum, rice, wheat. All those are plants with fibrous root system. So the only thing that you have to know is that in the fibrous root system, we don't have a main root. All the roots, small roots grow from the base of the plant. While in taproot, we have only one main root, and then along the main root we have small roots we call the root hairs. So go through the notes and you'll get more. Bye.